Welcome to West Country Wanderings and welcome to one of my another canal series videos. Today we're back along the Herefordshire and Gloucestershire Canal. In fact, at the moment we're at Castlemeads car park in the city of Gloucester, and we're going to have a look to see if we can find Llanthony Lock and Llanthony Quay, which lies just outside the city right next to the River Severn. So why not join me here from this car park exploring Llanthony Lock and Quay. I've not been here before. It's really difficult to find information on it, so we'll find it, see if we can find it together. Here we go. Now, just a proviso about today's video, I am kind of doing this rather blind. There's very little on the OS map of the area, and I've been struggling to find the book which covers the history of the Herefordshire and Gloucestershire Canal. There was one that was published some 20-25 years ago now, long out of print. Haven't been able to track it down a copy. I'm just following actually a news article which was in the local newspaper some 18 months ago, so again that's probably a little bit out of date, but it does say parking up at Castlemeads, walking underneath the main road bridge, you probably heard that in the background, and then going underneath the railway track. So we're going through here. It says something about the Geopark route. I have no idea what that is. If somebody knows anything about the Geopark route, then please let me know. Yes, so this railway bridge carried the line off the South Wales main line into Gloucester Docks, which lie just over there. And for much of its length, similar to the main line that still exists between Gloucester and Newport, it needs to be on a viaduct. Like over there, it continues the viaduct all the way down there. Sadly, I can't access that because it's all private property. And the reason for that, of course, is the River Severn, because it floods. It floods a lot in the winter time. If you've gone to YouTube, you'll see lots of videos there, including my YouTube colleague Parkinson's Walks, who lives to the north of Tewkesbury, and he did video there with the River Severn in flood not long ago. Some brilliant footage there. You can just see how badly it floods. So yeah, so that continued down that way into the vegetation. I'm afraid I can't get any closer than that, down to join up with the Gloucester Newport line, and the bridge itself across the River Severn is just over here. We'll just go and have a look. Yeah, as far as I can make out, that bridge is still intact. You can't actually get access to get across it. It's not in a fit state. There's nothing. There's no supports, and all the floor of the bridge is gone, but the supports for the bridge are still very much there. I don't think many people actually use this footpath from what I can see. I think I'm on the right route. Now that's interesting, because as well as railway things here, we have got, of course, the canal, and that's why we're here today. And you can make out some railway posts there, but that is obviously a mooring post, but it's really odd because it's right side by where the railway would, well, once ran across, like diagonally across this footpath here, but you can't actually make out the canal at this point at all. But the canal actually continued along the footpath I am, and hopefully we should come to Llanthony Lock in a second. And you're probably thinking, well, why did there need to be a lock here? Because it doesn't seem to be changing gradient. Well, that's not what it's for, as I'll explain shortly. So this is Llanthony Lock behind me. You can see the wall there which extends right down to the River Severn. And the reason that this lock was needed is to get the barges and narrowboats along the Herefordshire and Gloucestershire Canal to bypass Llanthony Weir, which is just over there in the River Severn. It's out of shot, and obviously boats can't navigate a weir, and so this channel through here, it's a little bit overgrown now, was created to get the boats off of the River Severn and through the channels, as I'm actually walking along now, along the former canal bed. So I'm currently now standing in the canal bed, or the former canal bed of the Herefordshire and Gloucestershire Canal, very close to the city of Gloucester, before it joined up with the River Severn. And obviously in front of me, well not obviously, in front of me is the direction of Hereford, and that way it takes you back down towards Gloucester Docks. Now the Herefordshire and Gloucestershire Canal Trust was formed, I think, around the early 1990s, so they should be celebrating around about now their 30th anniversary. So congratulations, Herefordshire and Gloucestershire Canal Trust. So you've done a sterling job. And I do believe that this lock basin here was actually restored, though it's a little overgrown now, but it has got both walls have been completely repaired. That was done, one of their first projects, I believe, in probably the middle of the or perhaps towards the end of the 1990s. But the cottage, which is obviously the original lockkeeper's cottage there is private, but I believe it is owned by the Herefordshire and Gloucestershire Canal Trust. The other end of the lock, it is pretty much like a complete jungle here. It got bramble, and it's well, a lot of the growth of the vegetation is up to shoulder height. That certainly looks like what I'm walking into. I think this footpath does complete a full circuit, but I do want to go back to the bridge again, the railway bridge, because there were some people there, so I could do a bit more video and a bit of photographs as well. It's gone dark, hopefully it'll lighten up a bit. There it goes. I'll do adjusting. And yeah, so what I'm planning to do for the rest of the video is we're going to go on to Over. So once you've battled through the vegetation, you come out to this, which is the Llanthony Island Nature Reserve. You're probably thinking, island in Gloucester? Well yes, it'll be more self-explanatory when we come to do the Severn Way, this further down, because there are two channels here. You've got the east channel and the west channel of the River Severn, that is, and the bit in between is Llanthony Island, and it is this fantastic nature reserve quite close to the city of Gloucester, and it's an absolute delight. Now once you've left Llanthony Lock, it then becomes very, very difficult to make out the course of the canal. This nature reserve, I believe, was established again in the 1990s. And of course this floods in the winter time, making the soil here very fertile and really, really good for nature, as you can probably see and hear all around me. There are obviously plans to completely restore the canal all the way through from Herefordshire and Gloucestershire, but I don't know what the plans are for this section. But here, just through the trees there, is the River Severn. So between where we saw that lock and the River Severn, at some point the canal made the connection there to avoid the worst of the rapids that ran round, or still does to some extent, the side of Gloucester on the river, notorious and treacherous River Severn. You might be able to just make out Gloucester Cathedral. It's actually tucked in behind the what looks like the electricity pylon, but obviously it's further on away from that. And yeah, so I've got my vlogging zoom lens on to the moment, so it's yeah, a little looking farther away than it actually is, but it's a glorious cathedral if you've not visited it, and saw it's something again we'll do here on the channel. Just to the left of that is another church called St Mary de Lode. Now, I will be covering St Mary de Lode. I think somebody did the other day mention St Mary de Lode. I'm sorry, I can't remember your name, but thank you for mentioning St Mary de Lode Church, because I will be covering that church when I do the Severn Way, because originally St Mary de Lode Church was right next to the east channel of the River Severn, and of course over the years it's moved, so it's no longer next to the river. Well, while I'm beside the River Severn, I'm just going to stop vlogging for a moment, change my lens over, do a bit of photography, trying to get some more shots of that, both the lock and the old railway bridge there. And then I will rejoin you back again at over by the Herefordshire and Gloucestershire Canal Basin there. So I'm here back at the Loft Keepers at Over, which is a pub, and we're just going to go down and have a look at the Over Basin. And this used to be part of the Herefordshire and Gloucestershire Canal. In fact, it was owned by the Trust, and they had it as like a little museum type thing, giving any information. And I think it was in 2019 it was sold. It's now run as a private concern, although the profits from the pub and the restaurant go back into the Herefordshire Gloucestershire Canal, which is really good. It's not actually open this afternoon. We're going to have to look down at the basin, see what boats are there, and then we're going to continue our walk further along the canal. So we have Renton, Bosley and Alder as the three boats on the Over Basin here on the Herefordshire Gloucestershire Canal today. And in a bit, after I've done the walk along there, I'm going to come back and take some photographs of those, because they look very bright and colourful here on the Canal Basin. So the canal actually ran through where I'm currently standing. I'm currently standing on the site of what was Over Lock. The canal went underneath that bridge there, and it went straight down here into the channel of the River Severn, which is just over there. Now, last time I was here I did insert an image of this, well, it looks like it's a road sign. Of course, it's not an original road sign, of course, and it was put up by the Herefordshire Gloucestershire Canal Trust, and as you can see there, got Gloucester 1 mile, which indeed it is, and Hereford in the other direction 34 miles. So yeah, obviously one day, hopefully, we'll be able to travel along this mighty canal and perhaps rejoin it to the network again, the Gloucester docks. So there's our old friend Sabrina again, River Severn, making its way underneath the main A40 at this point here. But we're actually going to continue along the towpath now. Looks like there was something demolished here, so this would have been the wharf, I guess, for the canal where it joined the River Severn. And I'm not sure if there was a building that was demolished there to put that hardcore down on that part of the footpath there. I've got a choice here. I can head back up to the basin. You can actually cut through this footpath here alongside the original Over Lock, but it looks quite overgrown, so I think we'll go back the way we came. I'll just show you the lock again here. Friend here is enjoying the view. I'm not sure. It is a beautiful view of Over Basin. It's done a fabulous job of restoring this. There used to be a hospital where those new houses are now. That used to be a hospital. It was a isolation hospital for TB patients for the Gloucester area. Now here on the the oversight, just on the outskirts of Gloucester, we have the containers here, which the Trust volunteers use to keep and maintain the canal basin here. But it's not just the canal basin, of course. When I came here last time, I was doing my Lassington Wood video. I did the walk into Lassington Wood, and then I came here as kind of an afterthought, so it wasn't actually one of my full H&G Canal series, although I did a quick visit here, so I thought I'd do the place proper justice and do a proper visit here today. So here we've actually got a slipway to launch the boats into the canal. Take them out again, just show you that. So I think this barge is called Mr. Maisie, and I just love this bench here. I'm just going to have to sit on it. It's fabulous. Look at this. Now see, that bench is dedicated to Don's bench, who is one of the Gloucester model boats. And now when I was here last time, there was quite a few people here. They were running their model boats in the canal basin, which was great to see, but not so great for me because there were lots of people around making filming quite difficult. I've come here today, it's a weekday, and well, I've got the place to myself, so we're going to continue our walk along the towpath here. Oh, just behind me there's about 6 picnic tables. So if you want to come here, you can bring a picnic and have a lovely picnic by the side of the canal. What a great idea that is. And it's really nice weather here today. No, I didn't have that rain I had when I was doing the Severn Way in Wales over the weekend. So that behind me there, and I think I pointed out in the video when I did that brief visit here when I was doing Lassington Wood, is a spillway weir. And of course, then that's to control the amount of water in the canal. If the level in the canal gets too high, it can drain away and make its way down into a drainage channel directly into the River Severn there. Excuse the aircraft going overhead there. Seems to be a lot of aircraft around today, especially because it's a great day and there's no wind at all, so particularly if you're learning to fly, as it were. But yeah, I'm enjoying this towpath walk here. This section here is called Vineyard Hill. So this is the section that we're entering now, so we've gone past Over Basin, but all of this has been restored. I'm not sure why it's called Vineyard Hill, because there's no obvious hill, unless it's the hill that's just to my left and to your right, and I'll just scan around, so perhaps that's called Vineyard Hill here. Now I know that there is a vineyard in Over. That's at Over Farm, which is over the other side of there, so maybe that's what it's got its name from. But there's no grapes on this slope, but there certainly are grapes growing in the fields right next to the A40, and I think we may have seen that last time. I'm not sure, I can't remember now, it's a while ago, so I think it was way back in the winter I did that video. I remember that the fields were flooded around Lassington Wood, not the River Severn but the River Leiden, and they've got the low-lying floodplain now with the electricity pylons. That was, I seem to remember that very well. But this is delightful here with the got the reeds on the side of the canal. Of course, they will need to be maintained at some point and trimmed back. So with canals, it's not just a question of the restoration to get the canal reopened to a network and repairing locks and putting in bridges and tunnels again, which obviously all of that's important. But it's also about the ongoing maintenance, because they have to be dredged, because canals fill up with silt, of course, and we've seen that at the ocean in Stonehouse in Gloucestershire on the Stroud Canal. When they've opened that ocean bridge, they had to dredge the canal there, and the silt was put onto the field near Ryford, near the Ryford Wharf. So that happened. Sorry, we've got helicopters and another plane. I do apologise for that. I keep stopping the camera to wait for a plane, but it's pointless, because as soon as you press stop, another one starts again. So yeah, I do apologise for the noise on the soundtrack from the aircraft above my head. But yeah, so there's an ongoing maintenance, and also it's also about keeping the towpaths clear and those in good condition, and obviously keeping the reeds. Oh, now we've got a fly on the lens. The reeds down on the banks of the canal, because they can encroach, and they just are here. We have these flag iris, but obviously they will need to be kept in check, because they'll be growing right across from one bank of the canal to the other. So yeah, that milestone marker there just tells you that we're half a mile now from Over Basin, and I'm afraid that's the end of the line. And just come to a shot here. There is a wonderful seat right here, which I am going to use, and then I will then talk to you again. Sadly, I couldn't make use of that seat, because there was a gentleman coming towards me just as I was about to do the piece to camera. So I'll finish the video on one of the picnic tables just to show you these. First of all, I'm now walking alongside the River Severn, and that sounds familiar if you follow my channel. These are osier beds, and I'll put up some subtitles to give you some more information about why they've been planted. But of course, One of the reasons is because of the nature. We've got these nest boxes. You can see that one in the tree just over there. There's been plenty been planted around here. They also help with the drainage because we're obviously currently on the River Severn floodplain, and this land that I'm walking on obviously has a tendency to flood, particularly in the winter. Though it's not that rare for it to can flood in the summer, because particularly now we have August, which I always now see as the rainy season, because we do tend to get a lot of rain in August time. I won't be surprised if we get a lot this summer as well. Although we are, if you like heat, I don't. If you do like heat, we are forecast. I'm recording this on Monday the 13th of June. And we are forecast to have some very, very hot days, particularly towards the end of the week. I think we're up to about 24, 25 today. It could be 30, 31. End of the week, I don't particularly like that. But yeah, I always see August as not great for filming because it's usually very, very wet. We've just gone into this wood here, making our way back up to the towpath of the Herefordshire and Gloucestershire Canal. Now, the other thing that's here, oversight, these beehives. I'm not going to get any closer. That's as far as I'm prepared to go for the channel. Sorry, guys and gals. Yeah, but I don't want to get a bee sting. But yeah, there's lots of bees swarming around those beehives here, and they're cared for by a local, I think they're called apiarists, that look after bees. I'll check that and put that in the bottom. And they've been here since 2009, looking like they are very active hives indeed. And you can actually buy the honey in, I think you can buy it in the lockkeeper's inn as well. If not, it's probably one of the farm shop at Over. I'll check that and I'll put that in below as well. Good to come back to Over Basin again and explore Vineyard Hill, the restored section, fully up all the way up to the end, because it was a bit of a rush visit last time I was here, and I hope you enjoyed the visit to Llanthony Lock and looking at why that was built, because of the weir there and the lock cottage, and also the railway bridge and Olney Island. I certainly did. I've not been to any of that before. I kind of was aware that they'd done some work at Llanthony Lock. It does mention it on the website. It doesn't give you a lot of information as to how to get there, and so the best thing to do is to park at Castlemeads car park just off the main, I've forgotten the name, I think it's at Castlemeads Road, I'm not sure, but it heads out to, it's the one that goes from Gloucester Docks out towards the A40 anyway. Car park's on the right hand side, and it's probably only a third of a mile, I guess, to the Llanthony Lock from there. I hope you enjoyed it on West Country Wanderings today. If you did, please consider the usual things. I won't list them all again, I'm not going to go through all that, you know the stuff by now. There will be another canal video from the Herefordshire and Gloucestershire Canal. In the not too distant future, I'll probably be visiting Malswick next time. There seems to be lots of things going on there. I haven't been there yet. And then we'll probably have a look at what's happening at Newent, and I'll tell you all about that as well. I'm just going to spend a little bit more time here taking some photographs, so I will close with those photographs now. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope to see you on my channel again very, very soon. All the best for now. Cheers. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.